We're not alone. There's not a single person out there connecting with us right now that are missing connection. Not one single person is immune from this. How many billion of people are on this planet? And every one of us are feeling this way. Nowhere in time have we ever experienced anything like this. You know, I love it that, Michael and I talk a lot about, Friday and Saturday. Our conversations are a lot about what he's doing at his church and what I'm doing at ours and what I'm going to talk about this Sunday. And his church is Presbyterian, and they follow a church calendar. And so he's doing children's time at their church today. And I was telling him he was telling me about this missing connection. And it came to me, and it actually, both of us started talking about it. After the resurrection happened, right? The crucifixion and the resurrection in the Bible, there was this time period. There was literally a time period of 40 days. Now, I'm saying literally in the Bible, it says 40 days. But in Unity, we metaphysically interpret that anytime we see 40 days, it means that however many days it takes to complete something, to complete a journey that you are on. So 40 days, Jesus appeared. That's when he came to the room and appeared to the apostles, right? Well, there was also a time period, but I was thinking to myself, how do you think the apostles felt, the disciples felt after Jesus left? There had to be this extreme loss of connection, and how they navigated through this missing connection with their teacher, their best friend, their comrade. And I'm saying 40 days, but remember, 40 days that's not how we look at it. We are missing our connection, and it's going to take however long that metaphysical number of 40 days is going to take before we can start to bring that connection back. And I was reading this story, and I got a little bit more detail about it because I don't seem to focus on this for myself much. But before he appeared to the apostles, to the disciples, do you remember there was the road to Emmaus? And this figure appeared to these two guys on the road who were having a spiritual conversation. And they were talking about this guy, Jesus, and what all he went through. And all of a sudden, this entity appears on the road, and this entity starts asking them, well, tell me more about this guy. And so they tell this entity all about the whole story of how this happened and the people, and the persecution and the crucifixion. And then this guy, Jesus, rose from the dead. And Jesus then it shows himself to them to let him know that he is here. He is alive and well. Even though you don't see me, I have never left you. And I was thinking to myself about my own little world. And even though I don't get to see you physically, I feel you. And all I have to do is close my eyes, and I can just bring myself into that sanctuary on Sunday mornings, filled. I can see the parking lot filled. I can see our classes all taking place. I just close my eyes, and isn't it a beautiful thing we have to be able to close your eyes, and this wonderful faculty we have called memory that can take us to where we want to go? I know for many of you, you're being visited by family members on the street or in your driveway. However, they're social distancing to be able to see you. I can close my eyes immediately and go to the last time I saw my grandchildren. I know exactly what they were wearing, and I can see their faces. Even though we couldn't touch or hug, I can see their faces, and I can feel them in my living room right now. Any of you feel that? Do you have that capacity to do that? And I know you do, because in meditation, you just did it. You imagined them, and then you sent them through imaginary vehicle of sending them a red cord to their heart. It's so powerful. So this idea of sadness, of loss of connection, that's our ego voice talking to us. Because ego loves us to be disconnected from source. Ego loves us to be sad, worried, fearful. Those are all egoic emotions. Remember, in the Garden of Eden, right? Remember when the serpent talked to Eve and said, oh, go ahead and take a bite of the apple, right? Eve was perfectly happy. Then the serpent, to me, represents the ego, has this conversation with Eve to tell her, go ahead, you can be better than God. You know, he's really not telling you everything, right? How many times a day do we hear that voice within ourselves? Seriously, I'm looking at all of your faces right now and ask yourself, how many times a day do you entertain this voice? I do. We're part of being human. That voice is not going to go away. But the key is to try not to force it away, but just let it go in. Thank you for sharing. Now go on down the road. Okay? You don't have to take it in to your conscious mind. You don't have to store it there. It's so beautiful that we have these different ways right now to connect, isn't it? I mean, I'm connecting through Zoom meetings, and there are days when I'm like, oh no, not another Zoom meeting, right? But then when I get on, I'm so happy I'm on this Zoom meeting because I get to see, like I said before, it's the next best thing to being there, is seeing you, watching you move around in your living room or your chair. It's so good. It's so good. And I want to just tell you too, another thing I struggle with for me, and I'm sure many people do too, but I think anybody that is in a position of having to make decisions for a group of people, and that is, Governor DeWine, who personally, this is my personal feeling, I am very grateful for. I feel like he does have public health in number one interest. And absolutely, you all know I'm a business person. I'm all about enterprise. I am all about our economy and boosting it. My heart goes out for small business owners and so many other people. But at the same time, I have to look at the whole. And so people are calling and asking, Kathy, when are we going to go back in the sanctuary? When are we going to go? Can we have it on the lawn? Can we do this? Can we do that? Can we start bringing our AA meetings back into the church building? Do you know how bad I want to say yes to all that? It is so hard to hold. I guess I'm using the right word. I'm not sure. It is so hard to hold to a boundary. And I don't choose that boundary loosely. I prayerfully go and ask for guidance. because I surely don't want to bring us back into the sanctuary too soon, and then we have to separate ourselves completely. So I'm hoping that we can start bringing our physical connection back slowly. So it takes time, doesn't it? It's going to take time to watch the numbers. It's going to take time to watch the results of us slowly opening up again. So I guess what I'm looking at is all I got is right now at this moment. And I can't answer the when. And I can't even answer the how. Because I think we just have to watch every day how things progress. Because me, just as much as any of you, want to be back in a church setting. We love our community. We love our spiritual home. But aren't we finding out how much we can connect? It's, what is it? I think I posted something on Facebook maybe a week or so ago. The church is not the building. Did you guys read that? Church is not the building. Church is the people. It's the community. You know, if you think about it, to this day, I've never found where Jesus had a church building, where he was all about the building. He was all about being out with the people. And that's what we're doing now more than ever. We are connecting not just with people who attend Unity of Garden Park. We are attracting a bigger worldwide audience that is wanting to hear positive messages. We are so craving that, because all it takes is picking up this device and hitting the news app or hitting Facebook. And I'm not sure where your posts are, but it will, that some of the negativity or fear or, the latest numbers, we've doubled numbers over the last 48 hours, certain communities. This is when you pause, take the pause, pray, however long it takes. Sometimes that's just 2 minutes. Sometimes it's a day. Sometimes it's a week. Don't judge it. However long it takes, then proceed. It is so important for us to practice that so that we can stay in a peaceful place. Stay in gratitude. Oh my gosh, do I sound like a broken record? I'm going to touch base on this again, but I want to read you something because it just came here. And this is from, can you see who it is? Oh, yes. Love this guy, Dalai Lama. It says, as the world faces a global health crisis, His Holiness the Dalai Lama shared these wise words on social media on March 13th. In the global society we live in today, we are interdependent. We all depend on each other. Therefore, it is no longer appropriate to divide the world into us and them. We need to think of everyone. We are belonging to one humanity. If the world were attacked by aliens, we would unite. We need to work together in a similar way to resist dangers to health that affect us all. Sometimes this coronavirus feels like an alien, doesn't it? I'd kind of call it an alien because we have no idea how to deal with it. We have no idea yet how to deal with it. 9 o'clock prayer vigil every night. I'm still, I'm so about it. I love that 9 o'clock, 10 till 9, my alarm goes off on my phone. I know that gives me a warning to stop and sit down and light my candle. My prayer every night is for the frontline workers, for the researchers who are brilliant people, are going to come up with a vaccine, and that we are going to get a handle on this. And then we both, Michael and I, move into gratitude and start naming all the things we were grateful for the day. And most of the time that is for our health, for our strength, for the food that's in our refrigerator, for the ability to go to a grocery store, for the ability to help my neighbors, to offer help, for the ability to have the stamina to field the phone calls, emails, and texts that I get every day. There's so much. It doesn't take much, does it? I'm grateful for the friends who made me masked to make sure I can keep a mask on. Absolutely. Yes. This is what we focus on. Affirmative prayer, affirmative statements. You know, I was reading a statement by Elizabeth Gilbert. I think, is she the one that wrote Eat, Pray? What is it? Eat, Pray, Love? I forget how the title goes. Anyway, she says, embrace the glorious mess that you are. Embrace the glorious mess that you are, and pray that God will do the same. You know that God embraces the glorious mess that we are, because we were created in his image and likeness. You know, when you're alone and you feel like you're disconnected from everybody, like, I'll tell you who my heart goes out for the most, and it's repetitive of, I think, what I said on Wednesday. Oh yeah, I'll tell you about that at the end. Remember, Wednesday, you're going to connect with Kathy at Kathy's Corner. But my heart goes out the most for are the nursing home residents. They, you know, we can talk to people on the phone. We can connect through Facebook Live or Facebook Messenger. Most of the people in the nursing homes, number one, don't have a computer. Number two, they have an old-fashioned phone. And number three, if they have a computer or they have a fancy phone, they have no clue how to operate it. And they're alone. And the only people they see are the people that come in once or twice a day to check on them and to bring them their meals, because most nursing homes are still keeping them eating in their own room by themselves. So that's where my heart goes. But I'm just telling all of you, when you start to feel isolated and alone, to go to God. Go to the presence of the Creator, the divine intelligence that created you, created me. What is it? Martha says, love the imperfections. That is perfection. So when I say I am a perfect child of God, I am made in the image and likeness of God, does that not include my imperfections? Absolutely. So go to source, go to God, breathe in the Holy Spirit, and go to gratitude, and go to affirmative prayer, go to affirmations. You know, I highlighted a couple of affirmations here that I like. And I apologize, I forgot to write the weekly affirmation down, and I don't have it handy with me. So maybe we'll get towards that at the end. But let me read you these. These are some affirmations to help you feel bound to spirit. My life experiences lead me closer to God. Here's another one. Spirit is always with me, guiding me. Spirit is always with me, guiding me. Divine Spirit is around me always. Breathe this one in. I trust that things are unfolding as they are meant to be. I'm going to read that one again. I trust that things are unfolding as they are meant to be. You know, I was listening to a podcast with Brene Brown, and the co-author, his name's escaping me now, but he co-authored with Elizabeth Kubler-Ross on Death and Dying. And I was listening to it last night, and he's come up with, beyond the 5 stages of grief, he's come up with the 6th one. And the 6th one is finding meaning. So the 5th step in grieving is acceptance. And he's saying that there's another one as he witnesses and counsels on death and dying. And that is finding meaning. And Brene Brown brought it to the forefront of this virus, of the pandemic. And we continue to move towards acceptance. I know we do. And then we drop back to anger, and we go through go back to some of those 5 stages. And then we get to acceptance again. But boy, when we can find meaning in this time of isolation, in this time of disconnection, to find the deeper meaning behind this. And it's not for us, I'm saying for you individually, to find what is the meaning. You know, there are 4 people in my life who have had family members transition this week. And that roller coaster of going through the process of grief, it's going to be a long time before they find any kind of meaning in this. But in this present moment of this virus, a world is going through those 5 stages of grief, and the world is going to search for meaning. If you have not read Viktor Frankl's book, Man's Search for Meaning, it is a wonderful book, especially to read at this time. Because no matter what, you will find the meaning of what it is for you to learn from this experience, or what this experience is teaching you. What is it making new in you? Old wineskins are becoming new. Is anybody experiencing that? Are you feeling that? Yeah, I want thumbs up. I want to know, because I can't see head shaking. Your old wineskins will never be the same, people. Neither will mine. We are creating new wineskins, and don't make it bad. Don't make war with what is. Oh boy, I could just go on forever, because I don't want to just quit seeing your cute little faces. And I mean that. You are so cute. And I don't care if you're in your jammies or if you're laying on a bed or a couch. I just love seeing you. And I want to remind you. So I think let's go back to that. So I'm going to circle back to the beginning. It's always best to start at the beginning. So, is there really a disconnection? No. And that's what Jesus was trying to tell them on the road to Emmaus. And many of you know there's an organization called the Road to Emmaus. Some of you may have already done those weekends of Road to Emmaus, which is really an extreme, deep, weekend introspection of yourself and your connection with God. And that's where that comes from, is from that Bible verse, and it's out of Luke. And when he joined back with the apostles, he didn't stick around for days. He's like, I'm always with you. So know that about your family. Know that about your friends, your coworkers, your teachers, your students. Know that about your church family. And know that about me. I am always with you. You all are stuck with me. I'm telling you. I ain't going anywhere unless you tell me to go somewhere. Because I'm stuck on you. Like Band-Aids stuck on you. That's me. I just love you all. And with that, I want to say namaste, truly knowing that each and every one of you, the Christ presence in me, truly sees and honors that Christ presence in each and every one of you. Namaste.